This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.
Well, indeed, this is the Bottom Line Liberia. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and you can always follow us, even on our online radio. Today is the 15th of October. Wow. 2024. And 2024 is growing old on the clock. But let me say welcome to Paul Elord Chulupe and also Francis Mensah. Together, we'll be here to discuss some issues. It's going to be politics, but probably outside of Liberia. But let me say welcome to you guys. Today is Tuesday, the first edition of the Bottom Line Liberia for this week. How do you guys feel after a long weekend?
Well, Linford, yeah, it's good to be back again because we've been absent since Friday, and being back, I think this is a serious commitment that coming every now and then is serious. So taking a time off, I think it was also good. And I just want to say something to one of our favorite viewers, Shadidia Brown Chilope, was a birthday yesterday. So I want to say happy belated birthday to her for was one of our key followers here. So yes, it's good to be back and to have a good discussion. And how you're in?
Well, let me hear from Francis first, then I'll come in.
Well, I mean, it's good to be back. It was so festive weekend from my end. I had my friend and brother and his wife from Belgium, the president of the Liberian Association in Belgium, Kingston there. His wife in Sweden, and we went on to another city. We met with Liberians there. Yeah, my brother Barry Camo and the rest of the people, and Mr. Smith. So we had a good time. And I also came back home on Sunday. Was so tired on Sunday and Monday. So we took a break out, took a brief out. So yeah, we all energized for this week and see what the week brings. And this is gonna be a fascinating show. Today we're gonna have a little spotlight on world current events, especially happening around the world. Looking at the crisis in Ukraine, what triggered it, the rudimentary problems, as well as in the Pakistan and in our country Liberia. So it's gonna be a little bit of mixed match show today. So on the Irish, things are okay. You can hear from the sound of my voice, the cold is here. Just within winter, which is snow actually, which is across just across the road. So yeah, looking forward to a great discussion today. So how are you, brother?
Well, I want to say I envy you, man. When you talk about Sweden, how you had a visitor and you went to another city. Which city did you go to, in fact?
Went to Linköping and
Linköping. Then around there, you got Young Shopping, you got Far Shopping. I lived in Sweden for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, more than 2 years. And so I traveled Sweden extensively. Reason being that, I used to be studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then they love traveling. So almost every Saturday we're going somewhere. And I used to enjoy. My man can pull, so after a service, we'll catch out here fine. But on a serious note, Sweden is a very nice place to live. When that was in the early 2000s, and the early 2018, so very good. They were very good people. But from our end, we've been having some time. Last week was it? Yeah, okay. I went out chasing the Northern Light, and that was crazy for me. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't see it. Um, so we came back, and it's been snowing though, but it's not yet very, very much. So we stay managing, but the weather is good. But life is good generally. But guys, like Francis said, tonight we'll be talking politics and we'll be crossing border a little bit. When I mean crossing border, it's not going to be all confined to Liberia. Probably we will talk about Liberia a little bit. Maybe look into one or two newspapers, and we're not also going to be here for a very long time. Our colleague Jima Kamara is done. The cold, the weather is changing, so he doesn't have a very good voice today, so he will not be with us. He wanted me to relay that message. So for those of you joining us for the first time, I would like to say this is Important on Liberia. Linford Quest, my name, Francis Mensah, and Paul Chilplay together will be bringing you some ideas. But Paul, talk to me. You've been following the world. All of us have been following the international events, especially the war, the 2 year, almost, I think, a little over 2 years war in Ukraine, between Russia, quote unquote, Russia, and Ukraine. And that couldn't be Ukraine fighting Russia for all those 2 years, all those months. Nobody in that right mind. I was in Ukraine just 5 years ago, and I know what Ukraine looks like. If you compare their strength to Russia, they wouldn't even you put it in the ring 1-to-1, they wouldn't even last for 4 months, constant war. But let's say Ukraine is fighting Russia. And we know that this war, there are hidden hands in it, but as long as you cannot see the faces, they are puppeting. The puppet, when we're picking, we used to watch the Muppet show, right? You think that frog talking, you think that Muppet, no, that's somebody puppeting here. So, that's the situation in Ukraine. But like I said, Paul, you've been following it. What are some of the things do you see happening, and what have you been hearing? How do people look at this war? Other war leaders, how are they looking at it?
Therefore, it's a sad situation that the world is facing today, regards to all the fight that is happening. But interestingly, I was able to capture something from the ex-South African president, Thabo Mbeki. He went to a university where he gave a lecture and students were asking him questions regarding the war in Ukraine and the war in the Middle East. And I've got a 10 minutes clip of that interaction, which is very fascinating. He gave a historical content and also where we're heading now. And equally so, there also another interview that was carried out by one permanent member of Israel on BBC, telling us on the reason why the fight is in Gaza, what they intend to do. So I think we'll start with let me set this thing up first so our viewer can listen. It's historical aspect that Becky have given us to understand what is really happening. So let me see if I can share this quickly for our viewers.
While Paul is doing that, we'll play a little promo for Bottom Line Liberia, so Paul can have enough time to get his talk on.
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, you are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. And while we wait Paul to get that clip set, I just want to throw in that whatever we discuss here on the Bottom Line Liberia, it is our personal opinions about issues. It's not the platform. It is we as presenters giving our analysis. And that's exactly what we do here because, like I always said, we all, the three of us, they carried us to the football match, and we all watched the game, 90 minutes. And we went home, or even the three of us came back together and we tried to discuss the full 90 minutes game that we watched together, and we saw all the scenes. Everybody will have different interpretation. Everybody will describe how the penalty was scored. Somebody will say it wasn't even in fact a penalty. So people will always have diverse, opinions on issues. So this is what we do here at the Bottom Line Liberia. We all do understand, understand situation the same way, and we all don't see them as the same. And then we all also do not have the same opinions. And that's what makes our show interesting. So, Paul, if you really just let us know.
Okay.
And, yeah. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm coming in now. Yeah. Come on, computer, wake up. Reality. Here we go.
Around students. So that's why they are very difficult. I don't know where we start. The Soviet Union, I'm starting with the last. During the Second World War, the Soviet Union lost at least 20 million people, 25 million people during that war, maybe 30 million. As you can see, it was an enormous sacrifice in the struggle to defeat Nazism. Of all of the countries that were involved in that war, the Soviet Union is the one that lost the greatest number of people. Therefore, there is a great sensitivity. The Soviet Union is no more, but talking now about the Russian Federation. A very great sensitivity about issues of war and peace. Because I'm saying of the sacrifices that the country made during the Second World War. Winston Churchill raised this thing. It was strange that it was him. But as they were building the EU, what became the EU, Churchill raised this matter and said, you Europeans were working on what, as I say, became European Union. Be mindful of the fact that the security of the Soviet Union is very important because of the losses they suffered during the war. Now, I'm mentioning that because when at some point, as the Soviet Union was about to collapse, issue of the normalization of relations between what Gorbachev was still at the head of government state in the Soviet Union, in the discussions with the West, with Reagan and others, question of relaxation of tensions between these two camps and so on arose. And in the end, one of the decisions that was taken was that there would be a unification of Germany, the two Germanys. And the commitment that was then made by the Western countries that the West Germany would remain part of, well, Germany would remain part of NATO, but NATO troops would not go anywhere east. So that even if those East Germany becomes part of Germany, you would not have NATO troops there. it relates to the matter about the sensitivity about the security question of the then Soviet Union. But in the end, that agreement between the East and West about the NATO borders not going anywhere further east, that matter changed. So that in the end, the question then arose, even 2008, there was some NATO conference where a resolution was taken to say that even a country like Ukraine and Georgia, which shared borders with the Russian Federation, were perfectly at liberty to join NATO. Putin raised was you would remember the Munich Security Conference took place in Munich on security. Putin raised this matter in 2007 to say that the security of the Russian Federation was very important. The countries of the East and West must handle this matter, bearing in mind that there are security concerns of that kind. To cut a long story short, when the conflict that you referred to, you talk about 2022, it's around this question, where the Russian Federation are saying they would never ever agree that you would have NATO troops in Ukraine on their border. Because I'm saying of this preoccupation with this matter of security. The Russians, the Russian Federation offered all sorts of solutions to NATO, to the US, about how this matter could be handled. But there was an insistence on the NATO side that the Ukraine had every right to apply for membership of NATO. So then end up with a situation where NATO troops would sit on the border of the Russian Federation. That's what caused the war. But that war had started not in 2022. It started in 2014. When the democratically elected president of Ukraine was removed virtually by coup d'etat. And you would remember the way the Western countries welcomed that change. The conflict broke out with the eastern provinces, what is the Donbass now, of Ukraine, refusing to accept that coup d'etat, that change of government. So the war started then. You would have seen the statements made by Angela Merkel and Francois Hollande 2 years back, where they said that, you remember there was negotiations at Minsk to resolve the conflict that was taking place in eastern Ukraine. And the Minsk agreement was agreed. Both Angela Merkel and Hollande said that actually that was, they did that in order to buy space for the government of Ukraine to arm itself. They're not genuine about that agreement. So in 2014, the NATO countries then pay attention to this matter of building up the military capacity of Ukraine. So in the eyes of the Russians, the reason we are building up a military capacity of Ukraine is to make sure that indeed you can then impose this thing about the membership of NATO with a strong military Ukraine that can defend itself. So in the end, the Russian Federation felt that if the only way to stop that process, which would lead to Ukraine becoming a member of NATO and the placement of NATO troops on the border of Russia, was indeed to start the military operation in 2022. Yeah. That is why around this whole discussion of this matter, this issue about multipolarity has arisen very sharply. Because it is about this issue. There's a matter that's not discussed very often here with regard to this issue, which is what is called in the US the Wolfowitz Doctrine. Paul Wolfowitz, Republican, at some point he made a proposal. It was after the collapse of the Soviet Union, that the US should never allow that any country in the world should be so influential that it threatens any interests of the US. And the paper leaked that proposal, and it was attacked even by the New York Times. This is too imperialist and all that. But that concept has never left US national security policy. So that is why you would find a lot of people in the United States will say the war in Ukraine was in fact a US war against Russia, using the Ukrainians. The purpose was to defeat the Russians so that they want to defeat the Chinese, to make sure there's no power in the world, as Wolfowitz said, who would challenge the interests of the US. I'm saying that is why you find the discussion about multipolarity. Now, our country takes a position that it is non-aligned. It's correct. It's a correct position. It's not aligned with Ukraine. It's not aligned with Russia on this matter. And they are saying that to be a peaceful resolution of this issue. And that resolution cannot avoid discussing this matter about a multipolar world. Because it lies at the heart of the conflict in Ukraine. The Russians would never ever agree that Ukraine should become a member of NATO. I am saying, bear in mind, these are people who lost 25, 30 million people during the Second World War. And I don't imagine NATO will want to change its position to say anybody who wants to apply for joint membership of NATO, they are free to do so. So in the end, I'm saying this conflict, in my view, is that this war in Ukraine can only be resolved, ended, in the context of a discussion about this multipolar issue. The positions taken by the South African government about non-alignment between the two belligerents is fine. It's correct. But in the end, the solution has got to be between the two belligerents. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. We support, I'm talking now about the ANC. We supported the proposal about a two-state solution with regard to Israel and the Palestine question. This was in support of a position that had been taken by the PLO as a representative of the people of Palestine. You would remember that there was a conference in Oslo some years back. which was between Israelis and the Palestinians, to discuss what to do about the conflict between the two of them. It's out of that conference that there was a decision, okay, let us then have a two-state solution. And as part of that process of forming a two-state solution, the establishment of the Palestinian Authority. I'm saying we supported that proposal about the two-state solution because that was the proposal of the Palestinians themselves. We said we agree. We support your position on this. You remember we had, there was a proposal here for a two-state solution also here, which we refused. You remember they wanted, some of the Afrikaners wanted a folk state. So they must form the folk state somewhere in South Africa. So we have that state and then you have South Africa. We said no. But I'm saying in this case, when the Palestinians themselves said the two-state solution, we said we'll support you. Practically what has happened with regard to that is that, this thing that they talk about, facts on the ground. Effectively what has happened is that the possibility for the establishment of two states, I think, has ceased to exist. Because of the way the Israelis have handled this matter. If, for instance, you take the occupation, the settlements on the West Bank, practically the physical possibility for the establishment of two states, I think, has ceased to exist. And recently you saw what the Prime Minister Netanyahu has said, that in any case he is opposed to this two-state solution because you can't establish, he says, by definition, if you had a Palestinian state, sovereign and all that next door, it would be hostile to Israel. So he said quite plainly, they are against a two-state solution. And as part of the reason, the approach towards this conflict in Gaza of the Israelis has been to, if we can chase away these Palestinians to go and live somewhere else, it'll be better. So that Gaza then becomes part of Israel. I think the possibility practically for the two-state solution at the moment is not possible. And yet we can't continue to allow the situation where the rights of the Palestinian people are disrespected. So we're stuck with a conundrum. You will have seen as in the most recent decisions, for instance, of the International Court of Justice.
Linford?
Yeah. I sat glued to listen to what he's saying. I remember growing up as a boy, we always heard this Israel Palestine conflict, and over the years we've seen so many leaders come in both countries. The very Benjamin Netanyahu, who is there today, was there, I think, in the early 80s, if I'm not mistaken, early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that name very well. We played with that name in the news for a long time. We also have people like Yasser Arafat, the PLO leader. So leaders have been coming and going. After Benjamin Netanyahu, we saw what's the name of the other guy? The Slim Omer. Okay, so but the conflict seems not to be ending. And I was in conversation on the same issue with somebody, and the person tried to, make it seem as if to say this is the Israel, the present group of people living in that part of the Middle East, that this is the Israel of the biblical time, that God had to open the Red Sea for them to escape from Egypt, according to what we read in the Bible. So people say live under that illusion that if you side with Israel, what was happening, then maybe God will give you free passport to go to heaven. And so Paul, you don't even talk anything about Israel. Oh no, it's not Israel. And I don't think this God that we serve, that we read about in the Bible, will be partial, because the same God will tell you, do not kill your neighbor. The same God will tell you, love your neighbor as your friend, as yourself. So if you love your neighbor, I know few people will kill themselves, but if you love your neighbor as a true person, like yourself, you will not want to harm them. So I'm confused. But guys, you listen to the former South African president, former President Thabo Mbeki, and he was driving us through some historical background. And one of these things he said, he made reference to the Russian Federation, that they said they will not allow NATO, any NATO country to be or NATO to be any country on their border to have NATO or to be a NATO member. They will not allow that. And if you go back in history, I think in the 50s, Russia was supposed to build some military uh, uh, sophistications in Cuba next to America, and America vehemently rejected that. In fact, threatened that if Cuba will accept that, they will be wiped out of the map, meaning they will not exist as a country. So it's the same America that will go to Russia border. In fact, if you go to Ukraine, you know that Ukraine is Russia, because they just share land border, okay? And they speak the same language. In fact, if you hear the names of the president, Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky. Vladimir is the Russian war, and Volodymyr is the Ukrainian war. So they are the same people. I've been to Ukraine 2 times, and I know people. The people speaking Russian and speaking that, it's no big difference. So those of us from Liberia, if you hear the Gilman and the Manuman speaking, it's almost the same. Or maybe the crewman, the suppleman speaking almost the same. Those of you from the southeast. So that is almost the same people. So for NATO to say we're going to establish our branch or we're going to make Ukraine a NATO state, when Russia had already said no, that will not happen. So I think that for me, I think Thabo Mbeki said it the right way, that this is not Ukraine fighting Russia. So Francis, what did you take from the clip that we just saw?
No, it was very enlightening speech. I mean, probably in discourse with the students exchange, but he was answering some questions. And look, we all can see it, crystal clear that Ukraine was actually misled by the West, the NATO, the alliance, the group, that they were going to get us support. They underestimated the willpower of Russia. Like Russia wouldn't have used the kind of force is used, or wouldn't have engaged in an attack against Russia, because in their mind, America, which is the most superpower of within the NATO alliance, was ready to give everything to support Ukraine. But unfortunately, America couldn't do that, because it will be a direct intervention, a direct attack. Russia has repeatedly warned the United States of America that your weapons that you use, the attack I gave Ukraine to attack or kill our people, is an act of direct involvement. So You said it all. We are no student of history knows that what happened in Cuba, the Russians and the Americans and what the little coup d'etat in the Balkans and by the wars around and the disintegration of the Soviet Union. But I mean, fast forward to Israel. I mean, is it what it is? I mean, it is a calculated attempt by the Israelis to wipe out the Palestinians because the manner and form in which they came to that claim land within the Bible. Because mind you guys, I'd like to say this geographically, all these areas have shifted from biblical times, where these countries were they are not there anymore. So how can Israel claim that particular area is what was written in the Bible? I mean, so look, what I would say, I mean, the possibility of a two-state solution is elusive right now because a country like, let's say, Palestine being independent, we have its own military right at the doorstep of Israel. After God, there will be revenge because of what has happened over the years. The reciprocal, the reprisal of attacks and the ongoing war. I mean, you kill the entire family, generations, wiped out. And the Palestinians would not know. No, but I mean, the people are brave enough to kill themselves, suicide up. So they will fight on. So America, along with Israel and the rest of the allies, will certainty allow Palestine to be a country. They will just say, hey, how they come out in the media for the sake of other people to say, yeah, they are working along with these guys. But we all know it will be the next 100 years before Palestine, become a country, of independent country by itself. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Paul, you wrote that video, and I guess you listened to it maybe for the third or fourth time, and you've absorbed a lot of things. Some of the things that the former South African president said, like I said, we know some already. As people growing up, we heard some of these things. We know some, but that a former world leader who is still respected among his peers can openly say that. What does that tell you?
Well, Linford, this is a situation that people haven't picked up here in the world because the Western media have used propaganda on this and refused to educate people on the true matter. Think about it. When he said in that video, America does not want any other country in this world to have equal power to them. You see, and the two countries he needs, Russia and the Chinese. So if we can put something in Ukraine, look, NATO, Finland, and how they call it, Estonia, and Sweden, they're all members of NATO. But Ukraine is direct. I mean, you actually in Russia.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you in Russia. Finland share border. They're not far from St. Petersburg, but there is a big gap. But with Ukraine, you set it inside Russia with your bazooka. And that is what Putin said it's not going to happen. The Russians say it's not going to happen. And remember, if you look at the war, the places the Russians have taken, those are all Russian-speaking area. You see how they divide. I mean, they have taken all the... And he talked about the coup. That coup that took place in 2014.
Yeah.
The guy that got out of power, he was a Russian-speaking president. So after that, there was a civil war between the Russian group and the Ukrainian English-speaking group. So this started long ago, but NATO was behind that cool. And this is what he's saying. So for Russia, it would never happen. And the West know that. So they use Ukraine as a proxy to fight against the Russian. So that's exactly what is happening. And now Israel, he said it. They would betting Netanyahu will never accept two-state solution, because if you killing people every day, the children will grow up to come for you. So
Yes,
that two-state solution
the
will
children will
never
grow up and they will ask, "Where's my father? Where's my mother?"
Yeah.
They
And
say
the children
our
seeing you
neighbor kid.
broken. Yeah.
Our neighbor kill your pa and your mom. I say,
Yeah. So it means you're creating more trouble for yourself. So the only way, and one of the things, the solution for this, I think Gaddafi said he want to interview that the only way forward, there must only be one state. Integrate the Arab into there. You have like what's happening in South Africa, because during the apartheid, South Africa wanted the black people to go separate from the white people, but that did not happen. That's the only way out. So if you look at the map, where they squeeze the people in Gaza and the West Bank on the other side, they divided them. So we'll take Gaza, that's the best sea part of the country, and then we'll come for those in the West Bank. So that is the plan. But as this discussion go further, there was an interview carried out by a prominent Israeli member on BBC that actually explained their intent. So I want our audience to listen to this as well. If you guys just give me a few seconds, me put this up.
Strip. Who will stay? Jews. If you want to call it cleansing, if you want to call it apartheid, you choose your definition. I choose the way to protect the state of Israel. Africa is big. Canada is big. The world will absorb the people of Gaza. How we do it? We encourage it.
Palestinians in Gaza who wish to remain in Gaza, are you saying they should be forced to go?
Palestinians in Gaza, the good ones, will be enabled. I'm not saying forced, I say enabled, because they want to go.
If they don't want to go?
No, they want.
If they don't?
The Arabs want to go.
If they don't want to go?
They want to go.
If they don't, what happens?
The normal people don't want to live in hell.
What you're talking about sounds like a plan for ethnic cleansing.
You can call it ethnic cleansing, you call it refugees, whatever you want. Arab.
So, Taba Mbeki, former president, said it. They don't want them there. And this Israeli woman is clearly saying, we don't want them. They will go. Africa is big. Canada is big. They can go anywhere else in the world, but we don't want them. That's the intent. And guess what? They've been backed by the same United States that supporting Ukraine. See? Today now, the support they were giving Ukraine because of what is happening in the Middle East, the same United States now have focused their attention on Israel. They left the people in Ukraine dying, and the Russians are gaining ground. See the hypocrisy in the war? Guys, talk to me.
Francisco.
Yeah, look. First, this the lady who was speaking, Daniela West of Voss, what they call her. I mean, she's a radical, right extremist. Sometimes we can look at it from both sides. She, her daughter, her son-in-law, and was killed, and her daughter escaped death because of her stance, as it relates to the Palestinians' existence, or the coexistence, by the two countries, the two people. But she has been radical lies, for or probably indoctrinated that the Arabs, the Palestinians, are not good people. They are subjects, to the will and pleasure of the Israelis. So as I stated earlier, look, these people do everything with the complacency of the Americans, because they are complicit in the whole thing. The West, England, America, uh, Germany, because most of the Jewish people that are now in Israel, when they were born, the last name was Ski, Poliski, Haliski. Yeah, they had Vish names. But when they came to Israel, they changed their names. They gave themselves, new identity. So look, it's unfortunate that this lady could say this thing in this, 21st century, although Africa itself has its own problem. We got the war in Sudan, we got the war in Congo, we got the extremists in Nigeria, Niger, Mauritania. So look, guys, I don't want to take all your time. It's already a nonsense, as she's saying, and the people need to live. It's their land, and she has Israel has agreed to give the people their land, let them live, in peace. We don't want retaliation. You just have to slow down.
It's true, Francis. Before Linford comes, Linford, the people that they call the Palestine today, they were the Hebrews. They was the very people that Moses crossed from Egypt to that land. They never left. So this Zelensky, the Bodolsky that have come from Eastern Europe after the war that went back there, that don't even look like people from Egypt and people from that area, are claiming to be the owner of that land. You see. So if we ask a Jewish person, let's do a DNA, they can't do it. It's those people that moved, they were Hebrew, but then at times went by, they went to Islam. They are the same people.
Quickly before, let's look at it from a geographic point of view. Let's say Hitler killed the Jews. So if the Jews were in that area, how come they all migrated towards Germany, Europe? Like flocks, like birds, like they were in droves. How come they didn't? How come the geographic shifted?
Yeah.
Look, this is a serious thing.
Let me tell you. Power. Power corrupts. As long as a piece of the world claims itself to be the most powerful, they will all be corrupt. They will look at the truth, crush it to the ground, simply because they don't want the truth to prevail. And so they will crush the truth to the ground, and then they will continue to live or impose their will on other people. You brought a very good point, Francis, about the geographical location. So let's do our little. We are not geographers, but let's do our little elementary geography, right? We got a map of Africa, and then Egypt is left on the other side to Africa. So between there, you got the Red Sea, some kind of water there. I don't know what that Red Sea, where you got the Suez Canal.
That's the Red Sea.
In the Middle East from Africa, you got to cross that water. So if that particular place, which is the Middle East, where the Gaza Strip or the West Bank or the Israel, that they call Israel today, is, if that was the home of the Israeli that claim, the people that claim to be the Israelis today, if that was the place they were, so how did Hitler cross the water to go to them? And the Palestinian, let's look at it technically. So it means that because Israelis are saying that they are home, and the Palestinians are saying that no, we were here. So if the Israelis were there, why is it that when Hitler supposedly crossed or he flew all the water and he went there, that when the daily one were able to go all over the world? No, let me tell you, those people, they disobey God. And God promised them that I will make you destitute. God cannot lie on himself. It's in the Bible. God said, I'll make you destitute. I'll make you useless. You'll be scattered all around the world. You will not have any root. So a few group of people, now I'm quoting from the Bible, is that me saying it? The Bible says that. God said, I will scatter you. These are the people who grab the Son of God and kill him. And they say they don't believe him. So they turn around and want to be the most holy people. So how many gods do we have? So these skis, because ski, you know, we that live in Scandinavia, you hear ski, it's the son. You get Anderson, Jakobson, or whatever. So the ski, and I can hear ski, Zelensky, or they kind of ski, or what kind of ski, their son, the Moses son, Paul son, or whatever. When they ran away, after they went back, so my question I want to ask is, how did Hitler just go and grab them and pick them up from among because let's agree that they were all living there according to their own claim. So they were mixed all the Arab people. So how did Hitler go and get plugged there from among the people, you know, and then came one Arab people? Because all the time they hear about the Holocaust, I don't hear they say the Canaan, Palestinian, or the other people. No, not the Jews. Yeah.
So, but Linford,
people go against you, but I don't know technically.
Linford,
yeah.
You said they were killed in Europe. That's why they had a Holocaust. So because they were killed in Europe, so they decided now the remaining people that left, let's take them back to where they came from.
So how all of them left? Okay, the point I'm trying to make is
that's so it's like me.
So how all of them left? How you left your home then came to Europe?
It's like me and you practicing. Let's say me and you practicing Christianity. And say, oh, we believe it, we are Christian. Because some Christians were born in our area, same trouble here, we're taking all the Christians back and send them back because that's where they belong. That's exactly what they did. They're not, so what I said earlier,
let them answer the question here. Let them answer the question for why did they abandon their home, then they were picking and they were living in Europe? Because that's why I said maybe Hitler flew all the water and went and wanted to kill them, so he flew or he carried
and took all of them from there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So how did they abandon their home and all of them were in Europe? Because Hitler did not go there. Hitler, according to their own story, Hitler.
Imagine you said that's the Holy Land that you claim today. You left the Holy Land.
Yeah, today on the other side.
After 2,000 plus years or millions of years, you decided to come back to the Holy Land that you ran away from. There's no sense in it.
Then let's come back to what this woman was talking. You see, the woman she repeated it. She said the world is big, Africa is big, Canada is big. The people can go. She did not mention America because why? America do not want the Arabs to go there. So she was first selected in her world. She said Africa, so Africa that is dumping ground, Canada that is dumping ground, carry them there.
Look, Canada was sanctioned this lady in June. Yes, she's sanctioned by the Canadians. She was sanctioned by the Canadians for.
I see why she made reference to them
for her involvement in human rights abuses. I mean, she has a group, a vigilante group that is in Israel. That are involved in attacking the people in the West Bank. And she's a strong supporter of the extension of settlements in the West Bank.
And again, I just want to let Facebook or StreamYard or the system we use know that whatever we say is our own. It's not a platform. It's our own analysis of the event. Because these are things that people have been silent about. People know the fact, but they don't want to say it. And whatever happens in the world, it affects everybody, even little me, some kind of way. Because where I go to win my bread daily to eat, if anything explodes, that place will be closed. And what happens to me, even though I'm now part of it, I'm a minute, almost a non-existent part of it, but I'll be affected. The whole world will be affected. Okay? So we need to point out some of these things. And there are basic questions that people don't want to ask, or there are basic events that people don't want to talk about. You call yourself Israeli. So if that current Israel, the place where you call Israel that was your home, why all of them abandon your home? I come from Africa. I didn't bring all my family. Some people remain there. So if I'm about to go back to Africa, I'll go meet my people. But if I take all my people from Africa, and in fact, all of the people in Africa that are supposed to be African leave Africa, the other people that remain there, they will be the real Africans. So you live somewhere for over, I don't know how many thousand years, then you say you're going back to your home when you got nothing there. Okay, let's take for granted from what this lady was saying that these people can go back. Let them leave. You according to you, the war in 1946, the warfare that Israelis has, let's say the Jews have suffered. I would not even call them Israeli. The Jews have suffered. Okay, and so let's find a home for them. So they went to the people who were occupying the land, the Palestinians. They said, okay, let the people sit here. There are some people now, they are saying to leave. You see the ungratefulness, you see the deceit, you see the hypocrisy. You were not there, the people were there, when you met them there. Then at the end, you say, okay, let the people move. Paul, you got your house. I come to UK, I got nowhere to live. You say, oh, my man, you can't stay there, or you can't go Harrow, you can't stay in my house. After 1 week, I say, Paul, I think you got to start leaving now. From your
Are the original owner of the house?
I asked someone to be a go. Can you imagine? So then somebody asked about what Paul going. I say, you can go anywhere. Let him go. No, the thing is glaring. This is the plan. Now you see, no God, the God we serve is that far from us. And for you people, I'm sorry, we all Christian, we all believe in a God. Me and I've reached a point where I don't want to be called Christian. I'm a believer. I believe in my Creator. Then God will say, right with us. God will not leave us and go lay away somewhere in heaven that we can see He with us. God said, we made man in our image. So I'm God in my own image or in my own life. When God moves from inside me and I finish. So the God, when you do something for long and you got ulterior motive, the God can review you. And this woman is a clear example of the plan that Israel has for the Palestinians.
That's the plan. Let's play this thing one more time before we leave from here.
Before you play, Paul, let me get also make a disclaimer. I don't support violence in any form. So I don't support Arabs or Palestinian bombing Israel, and I don't also support Israel killing innocent people. Okay, but there is something that can trigger some of these things. So now we know what is triggering the entire war in the Middle East. You can roll it one more time. Let's listen.
I'll roll it one for our viewers. This is interesting.
Straight. Who will stay? Jews. If you want to call it cleansing, if you want to call it apartheid, you choose your definition. I choose the way to protect the state of Israel. Africa is big. Canada is big. The world will absorb the people of Gaza. How we do it? We encourage it.
Palestinians in Gaza who wish to remain in Gaza, are you saying they should be forced to go?
Palestinians in Gaza, the good ones, will be enabled. I'm not saying forced, I say enabled because they want to go.
If they don't want to go?
No, they want.
If they don't?
The Arabs want to go.
If they don't want to go?
They want to go.
If they don't, what happens?
The normal people don't want to live in hell.
What you're talking about sounds like a plan for ethnic cleansing.
You can call it ethnic cleansing, you call it refugees, whatever you want. Arabs.
She sounds so ostentatious, very frisky. To make it simple, how in the world you look at a group of people and say the normal people? That means the people are not normal. Can you imagine? And let me tell you, no, even there's a reason why the same Palestinians they had to go there to go for Goliath. And it's a Goliath and the David and Goliath war that is continuing so. Because if you suppress a group of people so much, you suppress them, they will give up and say, okay, we're ready to die once and for all. Let's die. And like you walk in a bush, my man, you meet a leopard. You start, or the lion, you start running away. But the lion can outrun you, and the lion can finally to you. You gotta fight back. It will kill you, but you gotta fight back. That's what's happening. You look at the people, he said they will go. Even if they won't ask you if they don't want to go, he said they won't go. So it means you will force them.
Yeah. Therefore, you know, these people have been cornered in a tight little space. But air, water, you name it, land, they've been surrounded and they get all these satellites above them. Think on this carefully. They can't go anywhere. And this group of people are just there that you allow them to enter your place and take group of people. They can't go anywhere because you surrounded them. And today you cannot find that group of people. You bumping everywhere. You say they bring the people back. And you're bumping, you flatten the whole place. You still can't find the people that you took from there. The people not fighting back. So the plan here is let clear these people out completely. And that's why the woman is saying this as well. So let flatten this place to a complete dust. So the war can come say, okay, let's stop the thing. We'll take them to Africa. We'll take them elsewhere. Like what they did with them from Europe. That's their intention. And this woman, and that's the group that backing this radical called Benjamin Netanyahu. That's the group that's supporting him.
Yeah, but
And
if you look at this woman, she's between 60 to 70 years old.
Yeah.
And so her children,
the woman, I think she's 76 or 78 years old.
Yeah. Very good. So her children and grandchildren fighting this war because this is kind of indoctrination that she gave them. And she's not alone. She's just fronting, you know. She's just one of a few, one out of million. And
if you look at this woman, if you look at historically, look at her feature. She might have come from Ukraine, Russia, or
look at her face. Look at her face. Nobody
Eastern European. Yeah, Eastern European.
You know, the stigma will be there. Because people are afraid to talk about these things. When you talk about it, people say, oh, now you're going to be talking against Israel.
No, but actually, this woman was born in Pakistan.
She was born in Palestine, but for ancestors, they are Eastern European. Now they put her change her name. They took the Hebrew names.
Yeah, she was born in Palestine. She lived her life there.
But anyway, you know, but what I'm saying is that I think people have got to build backbones. Some fat, you know, become a little bit of vertebrate animal. People got to build up and discuss some of these things because people are afraid to talk it. You talk it, they say, oh, now you're talking against Israel. Nobody, no. Go to hell. That group, they're not Israelis. Trust me, they're not Israeli. They choose people. God promised them. God said, I will disgrace you. I will make you non-existent. You will go, you will scatter around the world. So you do. So, and who was there to identify that? Okay, you were one of those Jews that God was dealing with those days. But you just grab a group of people. You were homeless. You carry them and put them somewhere, and then then they're there to suppress other people. And the most unfortunate thing is that they got a mind that the people they met on the ground. Because no, I'm a Liberian. You will not bring anybody to my country, and that person will tell me, say, you gotta move from here. No, we all will die there. It will not happen.
You know, Lifa, thank you. Because it's almost the American Liberians coming home and then the additional people say, oh, the additional will have to leave.
Yeah. But you see, okay, let me put this in here. One of the viewers got it come and say the US is backing them. That's why she has more to talk. Okay. Now, so let's assume that what this poster is saying or this writer is saying is true. Now, look at the America, the very America we're talking about, North America. I'm not talking about South America, but look at the very United States of America we're talking about. That people believe is backing Israel in this whole fight. What is the policy of the American? If you saw it, I would call America today. Who were there? The Apaches, the Navajos, the Cherokees, the Indians. That were there. And they forced the people, they took it from them. In fact, they called them what? They got something I name for the natives. They put them on the edge of the United States. They built barricade between them. Okay? So it's the same concept they want to carry to Palestine. You know, you can't meet the people there. You say, okay, they don't look like us or don't want them to be around us. So we'll put them out. For continent like Africa, they've tried, they enslave us, they make us, we are the only race on earth that people they suppress, they sold us into slavery. We pull ourselves by the bootstring, but still they'll cut that bootstring that we're pulling ourselves with. They have done everything possible to us. The only thing now, they feel embarrassed to move to us, like how they move to America or they move to Palestine. No, and they will try. The best thing they'll do, they will fix all these diseases and things and send it to Africa. They'll develop all this sickness and send it to Africa. But they went on that code so that, look, I'm not anti-white, okay? But if you look at it, you can't suppress a group of people like that. So they will not do it. I don't see this. They will not go to Central in Africa. They will do everything to fight among themselves, but they will not do it like how they did it in America and how they did it or they doing it in Palestine. No. They will fight all in different ways, but they will not come there to occupy. Never ever.
To this viewer here, it seems something here that I think the person need to be, it's not a belief U.S. is backing Israel. This person does not know. Now, after Hezbollah have launched,
what he's saying that I think, or whoever the poster is saying that when I think Linford said they believe, that some people be Israel, supporting America supporting. She says the poster say it's not a belief, it's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah. I find by the statement.
And I'm only speaking journalistically because I do not have the fight. I'm not seeing America go there. So it's clear, it's clear. But to put it, to defend myself, to leave room for defense, I say it is believed, it is said, it is alleged. But we know. We know.
No, but it's not alleged. Just recent yesterday on the news, they announced they're sending their new air defense thing. They got a name for it, and they're sending 100 men to operate it. So in reality, they're going in to help the Israeli doing the damage. That's a fact. It's all on the news. It's not alleged. It's on the news. So it means they're supporting the act. Now, what happened yesterday? They were embarrassing the UN because when Israel attacked the peacekeeper, they all knocking say, "Oh no, they think getting serious." Because what happened? France is that colonized Lebanon. They get the French troop there. They're not happy. You see?
I hope you're not going to apply for US visa soon. I'm visa free to US. I don't need visa to go to US. And US cannot stop me because we believe in free speech. In fact, I live in America, so they know. I'm partly, I guess, some kind of connection there. So they know they can't stop me. But I would say the fact, and that's why we are called Americans, because we say it as it is. And they can't go against their own rule. No, you look at, I'm not lying. Go to America. Who occupy America? They say Christopher Columbus discovered. What is, if you go to a dictionary, we're all using Google now. Ask Google, define discover for me. Discover me to find something that was lost. You went in that group of people there, you say you discover it. You go to Africa, you see Le Victoria. Then you made a tour to carry on a bag, they carry to a lake, you say you discover Le Victoria. And then you give a name called Victoria and they told to accept it. And they call it Le Victoria. That lake name is that Victoria. So they change the name to some kind of Swahili name. But and these people can try you. Like I said, they have tried us. They sold us into slavery. They did everything. They didn't want us. They had to send us back to Africa, and that's how Liberia was formed. We all know the history. So now, they will be so ashamed to go to occupy Africa. They have tried everything. They can't make it. The only thing, they will suppress us. They will create war. We'll fight war, yeah. But how they occupy other countries, how they occupy North America, it will not happen. It will not. It's so good that people are getting braver and we can talk. Look, they believe in democracy, freedom of speech. We will talk. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not using gun. I'm not throwing bombs. I'm talking. You can talk. Yeah. So, well, guys, I think it's a good show, and I don't know if there's anything more we need to talk. Maybe I don't know. Nope. Yeah. I think time is fast spent. We all should be going.
Yeah, now. I think it was good that we deviate from our own country's problems and tend to, highlight some of the mishaps or some of the maltreatment, inhumane treatment against the people of of Pakistan, and and what is going on as well in Ukraine. No, so we have enough time. We have spent so many hours and days just talking about Liberia's problem, which will never change. One group of corrupt people come, another group of corrupt people replace them. So yeah, let us take time to discuss other issues. We'll be back here tomorrow discussing. Friday we'll be here discussing. Other tough, provoking issues from the country for for our mother's land. So yeah, I think time has fast spent. Just another work day tomorrow. It also continue. So I think we have
Yeah,
exhausted all.
we're supposed to be all living in peace. Daybreak, you go do what you have to do and come home and sleep. Their war is big. We have not called a war. Then some people will want to take other people. I don't understand the greed with human being. Yeah? You got everything. Some people ain't got nothing. But still, the people that ain't got nothing, you go after them. Simply because power, power is the worst thing that God ever created.
Something I want to say before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's election year in America. In 3 weeks' time to be electing their president. Both candidates are for the war. And now what happened here from news that I've been following, the Muslim, a lot of Muslims in America want to protest against the Democrat for this. So Kamala Harris, if she's not careful, they may end up with Trump. He's another warlord. So just another thing that people not looking at. During election year, I think this is where you become very calm and all that to see how you can bring peace. But the moment they keep pushing that thing, especially Biden, I don't think he wants this woman to win, because that would be a serious protest. And the two of them, is like, who I must say who want her. I don't care to vote. And the other guy who is Trump, his people, I don't think they're going to sit home. They're going to get him in. So something that we can look at.
Well, that's a good topic. We can talk about it another day. But
another day.
The Jewish community in America are big financiers. Of the both parties. You got celebrities who have Jewish backgrounds. They support the both parties. So they wouldn't want to, America's all about money. They don't really care. You can care anybody for money, but that's it. They do anything for money. So they don't really care about that. So after elections, they will go and start appealing to the non-Jewish community, the Arabs, the Muslim, we're sorry and this and that, start to appeal, so whoever wins, that's a strategy to go
it's
back.
The same thing,
the money coming from the rallies, the other support, it comes from the Jewish community, which got businesses in America. They are millionaires, celebrities around around America.
And what happens? Do you know that most of the billionaires, those Jewish billionaires, got money from people? They got money from philanthropic organizations. Some of them, they don't want her. It's because people, like I said, people got a mentality. Oh yeah, this is the Israel that God say that they beloved people. So if you love them, and some people buying salvation in a form. Oh, let's donate to them. And people, I see people all over the place raising money to send to Israel. Is not a victim here. Israel is the aggressor. And you say, oh, let's raise money and send it to Israel. And, man, let's get out of here, because sometimes it's difficult to talk some of these things.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was a good show. I mean, at least for once we deviated from the so-called Liberian talk that nothing going to change in our lifetime. So we look at how the world is going, and we should just pray that all of these things that's happening, both in Europe and in the Middle East, is bound to happen. Before we leave, I'll just throw this, the how they call it, Iran. There was an earthquake in Iran a few weeks ago. but it was not an earthquake. It was actually a nuclear bomb that they tested, and Israel bound to retaliate on them. So they also prepared that anything. So we in a difficult times, and what they said, they made it clear they don't want war, but if they attack by that's the Americans supporting them to attack. If they attack, they will go after all the other countries that is actually linked with America. That means Qatar, Saudi Arabia. It means they will bring people in. And so we should pray this shouldn't happen. I hope Joe Biden and his people see logic to stop what is happening.
Well, let me tell you something. Just before we close, let me tell you something. All the Bible talked about is say there will be war and threats of war. They will fight. They're fighting war. Let me tell you. As we speak now, people dying in Israel. I mean, in Israel, in the Gaza Strip, or in Palestine. People fighting and dying in Congo. People fighting and dying in South Sudan. People fighting and dying.
But these guys, there are two nuclear power we're talking about here.
I'm coming. Paul, what do you have to lose? If let's say they use nuclear bomb today, what do you and I have to lose? We are not rich. The Israeli, let me tell you, those Jews, they are the rich people. People, nobody will explode nuclear.
So they will just web all. No, that one.
Trust me, I'm telling you.
Look at it strategically. The Arabs see if you attack, we attack. But if you attacking them, the only option that you get for one mad person say, "Oh, saying go after, release something."
Yes, but the good thing is they're not releasing the nuclear weapon. Although they will make all the be more. Let me tell you.
I mean, listen. I mean, who knew in 1940? I know when the America launched that bomb in Hiroshima in Japan.
Hiroshima and
some other Takasoni. Who knew? Because the people were telling the scene was in the modern day age after the First World War. They will go. Nobody would have done it. Like America did the Second World War.
Yeah. But
after the Second World War, America in Vietnam killing the people there too.
Yeah, they were reversing. But right now, let me tell you, the war has advanced. America, the economy, no, you're talking about 1942. I was looking at something on the internet, 1960 something. I look at a picture of Louisiana, 1967 or Louisiana. It was like a village. It has transformed just in a few decades. So let me tell you, America will not want to go because they know the power of the nuclear weapon. They will not want to get all the people. They will just threaten each other.
I don't want to agree with
it just take one mad person. Let Netanyahu
in any case, my point here is they don't want got it. They don't want reach. Go to Africa. What we got? We can.
I mean, I don't want that because
they talking. They want to wet everybody out. So that's.
You think they will live?
That's a mad person.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking. I got nothing to lose. Me, I read it today. Let them exploit. I got nothing to lose. I thought I'm working, sir. And they don't want reach. That's the point I'm making.
Okay. So for you,
if all die today, the whole world die today. Where you got to?
But that's
nothing. No, let me tell you, Paul. All the things here that just show. You see, I'll come back to this just before we close. You see, I said it before. The war is peace. The Sweden that France live, the UK live, you can drive through forest for some time. Why we follow the whole land here? They're leaving from here to go to Mars, to go find a place to live. You know that idea? They will take all that billionaire if life is on Mars. I was just reading something today that they discovered that life was on Mars, but you know, the substance that created life on Mars, it disintegrated so that nobody can live there. They want to go live far play and kill all that billionaires. Then they come and destroy the war. When they finish killing all with the poor people, then they come back. One person will own America, the other one person can own the whole UK. But God will not allow it. God put us there today, and that was our people who believe that there is somewhere called heaven. The lie, heaven is here. God make it and put you here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they will not wait. They've been trying. It don't got hard a chance. Let me tell you, Paul. It don't got hard a chance that they can live on Mars. Long time. You and myself not busy now talking. They feel we're all long time, but nowhere to go. So we're all here, and they the one got everything. Me, I got nothing. Let them explore. I'm ready today. Let them explore. Let's see who will suffer.
You listen to what I already said. We don't want the Arab. When the Arab do something that they know they can't defeat them, it just a one new boom.
That's what I want to say. So Arab can go. So let Arab go. Finish.
All right, guys. That close
They put no, it's like when was small this will tell about the Pugu man story that you want to put up. Even until today, when I go in the forest, I'm scared. I still see that there is something in the push called Pugu man, but that they get to make you afraid. So, no, America will not explode bomb. No, God will not explode bomb. Yeah, let's just watch what I'm telling you. How long when was the first time they faced a nuclear bomb? Long time. They've been having it. They're not facing it now. They get it, but why the guy explode? They know.
Okay.
So
the chance of you surviving.
He that is down, fear no fall.
You can be in Bon County. I can be in. You can be in Bon County. I can be in River G. Be eating Makasawa while they going after each other. Yeah.
So you can't call me too.
How come you want?
Well, God, it was a good show tonight. It was a good show tonight. Even though you see the people here,
I'll be here. I'll be here.
My man, and I die. Ola, they get plenty to go. They get plenty to go. I'll be the first on that flight.
My man, I'll be there. Joseph Barker will walk.
No, my man, the men they get paid boat here. I'll take some boat. Just sit down in the water. Well, it was a good show, guys, and you know, sometimes it's good to make some fun, but you know, there are serious things in between, and we hope people who are world leaders can look at some of these things, because God created us and put us there to live here. God did not make us to spoil this place. So you take cues, and those of you who got the power that can make this, you got something called United Nations, and they're sitting there and seeing these things happening. There you go.
Thank you, Linford. So on this note, to our viewer, thanks for being with us. We're back here on Friday with another edition. If anything pops in, we could come on anytime. So we'll say have a fantastic evening wherever you've following us. It was a great show, and we hope to see you. So I'll leave.
We'll leave with it nice. Let me recognize a few of our people, Pataki or Mr. Thomas. Thank you. And also my friend, Great One. I will not call her Riani. So you're welcome, and we thank you for being with us. And several other people who appear on the board, but I can't see your names. So we thank you for being here with us. And this is what we do exactly on the show. We give our own opinion and we mix it up. Everybody can agree, but today, you know that we all agree on the same thing. You know, at least we didn't have somebody going on the left today. We all agree on the same thing, and that is what is going on in the world is not good. And people who are responsible for decision making should be able to reverse this trend that we are going on. It's not good. It will lead to disaster. So take us on.
Okay, on that note, I'll say good night, guys, and I'll leave with a new Liberian song. We don't have a copyright to, so yes, good night, everybody.
Boy. If we're pregnant, speak up. Sexy. Only records, Now you bad liquor on a what you want you to don't can show yourself. Got plenty dancing, now you dancing, you get happy. I say don't can show yourself. You using Chani, Mr. Chani, I say to never bad, don't can show yourself. You say you young for your sling on a papa bob, I say don't can show yourself. You don't get money, you want eat shawarma, eat some pizza, don't can show yourself. I using sense on you, using sense on your own Chani, don't can show yourself. Your Nina Kebe, you go or you say your Nina Sarah, don't can show yourself.